Greetings, fellow gamers. This is the Gamer Guy in a Suit from the Echo Army YouTube channel. And today I have, halfway through now, 15 of 30, and it's going to be a review of the indie choose-your-own-adventure style, survival game, Dyscourse. Now, Dyscourse was the daily deal on Steam today, so you'll still have, another 24 hours or so to grab it on this steep discount. But it was actually released on Steam back on March 25th, 2015 by publisher-developer Owlchemy Labs. This game was reviewed using a key from my own Steam library. I actually picked it up on the daily deal today, so it was not provided by the publisher or developer. And what we've got here in Dyscourse is like a survival simulation type game, but it's mostly like this text-based. I guess the best way you could describe it is like an Indie-TellTale type game. It's, choose your own adventure. There's some graphics here, actually it's very graphical. There's lots of pretty things to look at and things to explore. And there are some choices that have to be made on the fly, and all these choices that you make have consequences and effects on the story, and it all plays out. You have all these survivors, basically. It's another plane crash type scenario. The plane has crashed, and you have to manage the survival of this group of people and make all these choices that it's going to affect everybody's survival, and hopefully by the end you can help everybody survive. On my playthrough, I helped nobody survive except for myself. I did survive. I did manage to get myself off the island, but that was it. Everybody else died along the way. But it was actually a lot of fun, and the decisions were very, very hard, and I love having to make the decisions on the fly, that little timer bar, and you just have to decide now. You don't have time to just sit there and mull over it, and, well, if I do this, I didn't know. You need to make those decisions now, just like real life. So it adds an extra style, an extra layer of immersion to the game itself. I like it a lot. There's a lot of replayability here. You're going to have to play through it multiple times to get all of the story and all of the endings, obviously. It's a quick playthrough. I think I played through my first time in a little bit over an hour. So you'll be able to play through it that one time, but you're going to want all the endings you can get. So I would say there's at least a good 8 to 10 hours of gameplay here. I'm just guessing. And that's if you read the story. I mean, I guess you could click through it and 100% it that way, but what fun is that? There's actually a really good story here, especially if you follow the characters. I like how the first couple of nights you kind of get to pick which characters you talk to before you go to sleep, but you can only talk to a certain amount, so that's only going to unlock certain parts of the story, and you can see how a lot of the mechanics are working. The gameplay itself and the controls are extremely easy to use, and it's very controller friendly. The graphics, like I had mentioned before, are very pretty. I like the way that the game actually looked, and the sounds actually weren't too bad either. The talking reminded me somewhat of The Sims with that just like a low murmur and gibberish basically to what they were saying, but obviously the subtitles were there on the screen and you could read everything they were saying, and the language was perfectly fine. I didn't notice any, bad grammatical errors or horrible translations or anything like that. It worked just fine. You could read the story just fine. So if that kind of thing annoys you, you don't even have to worry about that. I think, all in all here, we actually have a really solid game. My favorite was the ending. It's a nice touch with this whole little, bulletin board thing of newspaper clippings that basically sums up your story, that ends with an overview and a summary of, all your survivors and who survived and who didn't and how they managed to not survive, if you get what I mean. So basically, if I were you, I would give this one a shot. For me, it's a definite 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it very much. I can't wait to play through and get each ending I can possibly get. My only issue with the game being it is a bit pricey. I think it's $15 when it's not on sale, and that's a little bit on the high end for my tastes, but when you grab it on a Steam sale, you can get it at an insane discount. I think during the big Steam sale it was 50% off, but right now during that daily deal you can get it for just over $5, and I highly suggest you do so. You got about 36 more hours to do that, so if I were you, I would get in on that ASAP. This has been the Gamer Guy in a Suit who really enjoyed Dyscourse. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, maybe subscribe or give us a thumbs up. We hope to see you next time. Happy gaming.